Today marks the 3-year anniversary of a very bittersweet day when I had a massive mental breakdown. Let me bring you back to 2020. I was on autopilot and did not even know it. Me and my husband had just moved into our house that we renovated and bought. We had just got a puppy. I was also working and volunteering so much. I was literally on autopilot and I did not even realize it until one day I showed up to work and I just started crying. I could not gather my thoughts to even say why I was crying. I was just sobbing. I felt so overwhelmed at work. I kept working super hard and I kept getting more responsibilities, but I was getting no extra help because I did not know how to ask for help. And I was not getting any increase in pay. So I was just getting more weight put on me and I snapped. I got sent home from work. My mentor and my boss had to take me into a closet and be like, you should go home. I just broke. I did not know what was wrong. I've never had depression or anything. I was just so confused what was happening. I was so not aware of the little hamster wheel I was on. I remember I cried all the way home. I went home, I put my dog in the backyard and I sat in the grass and I just sobbed. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And then I decided I'm gonna call a therapist counselor because I need to understand what's happening. Then I got really, really sick. I was coughing uncontrollably. I was at my lowest point. I remember the day I was supposed to go back into work, the world shut down. We started working from home and I remember my therapist literally being like, you are a completely different person than whenever we first started talking. What has changed? What is going on? And we realized I needed to work from home. I needed to be outside of an office that was filled with people because my brain, the way my brain works, I can't work around other people. I can't have distractions. And so that was the very beginning of what my career is right now. And I just remember it was the first time in years I actually stopped and slowed down and looked at myself in the mirror and processed what I was and was not doing for my daily habits and just my life in general. Me and my husband took a photo and I was like, who is that? I didn't even recognize the person I was looking at. I was 40 pounds heavier. And I decided, okay, March, since I'm not driving to the office anymore and I'm completely better from being sick, I'm gonna take that 30-minute commute to work that I used to do and I'm going to exercise for 30 minutes a day. And I exercised every day for 30 minutes. And then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna slowly start implementing healthy food. I'm going to track everything in MyFitnessPal. It's this free app. For 3 nights a week, make something healthy. I added the 30-minute workout into okay, now I'm going to incorporate 3 days a week. So by the time April came, I started to kind of see some results. I think I lost 3 pounds and I was a little bit more toned than I was 2 months prior. Super small goals, but I knew that they would compound. And then May rolled around and my therapist was like, okay, you are a different person officially. And exercising is actually helping your mental health so much. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this, but I'm gonna add 5 nights a week I eat something healthy. And I made sure to get all of my fats in, all of my carbs in. I wasn't limiting anything in my diet. I was giving my body the nutrients that it needed. And I was really just suddenly thriving. It was just insane. And I wasn't not confident before, but looking at the pictures from early March, I was like, holy crap, I look so different. I feel different. I look different. I'm happier. I told myself 6 months. I gave myself 6 months to get back into shape. And so by July, I was really seeing results. So during those first few months, it was so helpful for me to have a good head on my shoulders because although a lot of the world slowed down and I slowed down, digital marketing did not, and that was my job. And also the nonprofit that I worked at, a lot of those small businesses were not digital yet. So I started creating websites and creating social media accounts and doing marketing for people for free. And then in July, I realized I need to officially start charging some of these people that I don't currently have a connection with because word of mouth spread my business like crazy, which was such a blessing. I officially started my EIN, my LLC, and all of that. So now I'm working my full-time job, but also I'm able to work my business. My job stops at 5 p.m., my business starts 5 p.m., and then I work till 2 o'clock in the morning. I've talked about that before. But all of these things were possible because my mind was finally in the place where I had capacity to do more of what I loved doing. During that time, I was also still continuing my journey of being healthy. Looking back, I'm like, holy crap, those little disciplines every day brought me so much change, and I didn't even realize that those little changes that I was going to be sticking to would be the exact thing that ended up changing my life, because they seemed so small. But that's what the entire 22-day challenge is about, because I've done this so many times since then, where it's like something that's so tangible and so small, it's too easy not to do every day, but you know that it is an important component to reaching your big goals in life. That is what you stick to. In January of 2023, I literally made my goal, I have to exercise 5 minutes a day, because I have not been exercising consistently. And I was very sick for 3 days. And guess what? I still was able to exercise for 5 minutes each day. I did not want to break my streak. I wanted to stick to doing what I said I was going to do. I wanted to stick to that discipline and prove to myself that I can do it. You just feel so much more confident whenever you do what you tell yourself you're going to do. I would usually do more than 5 minutes, but at the bare minimum, 5 minutes was my goal. So now in February, it's going to be more than 5 minutes, eat a little bit healthier, maybe less chips in the evening. And then by March, it's just gonna add something on. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is that they're super motivated to make a change in their lives, and then they're like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a day, or I'm gonna post on social media 3 times a day, or once per day. That's great, but what if something comes up? Are you still going to be able to achieve that result? Are you going to be stressing yourself out during that process of achieving that daily goal that you have? If so, make it a smaller goal. You can still post every day, but don't make that your goal if you think there's a chance that you might not reach it, because you want to build your confidence. You want to stick to doing what you said you were going to do. That is the most important thing. It has to be something that you can add upon over time. You don't need to do everything all at once because you're motivated, because motivation will deplenish, and you might step away from that thing that you said you were going to do, and you're like, dang, I already broke the streak, gotta start over. But instead, if you just make it something small, like I'm gonna read 1 page per day, and by the end of the year, you've read a whole book, great. Make that your goal, 1 page per day. And if you exceed that goal, you'll feel even more better about yourself. And also know that discipline in one area of your life will then, it'll just expand to all the areas of your life. So for fitness being my one goal, that literally aligns my entire day to be more disciplined with UGC, content creation, coaching, mentoring, everything that I do. My goal by the end of the year is I really want to get back into modeling, and I want to be able to save up to buy a house here in Los Angeles. And so all the little actions I'm doing, I know that my daily exercise goal right now will lead to that big thing. Even though it might not seem like it, I know that's the answer. So figure out your big goal, break it down, and let's have a great year together.